My name is Justin Ma. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area in California. I am with the Way of Archery, as well as the Cinnabar bow. So the Way of Archery is more of my Chinese military technique teaching side of things, and the Cinnabar bow is the accompanying equipment business. So I'll kind of go through, brief overview of what's the technique and its applications to military weight bows, and hopefully show you some of my products as well.
Real quick,
Yeah.
you say military weight, and I love that because there's nothing worse than somebody that is claiming to demonstrate a military technique with a LARP draw weight bow, because you can get away with anything with a LARP weight bow.
Mm-hmm.
And this man here does techniques with actual war bow weight bows, which is an entirely different world. So proceed. I just wanted to throw that in there because you know who I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah, and so, I think I will, well, let me start with a demonstration first, and then I can, talk more about, what is involved with my research and reconstruction efforts on this front as well. So this bow here, this is a laminated bow made by Mishko Rovchinin of MR Bows. This is the Tehran. It's a 60-inch model, and the weight comes in at 102 pounds at 28 inches.
So totally my style.
And then the my draw is about 28 and a quarter. And so I teach the thumb draw style of shooting, and it's not just about what it includes what the hands are doing, as well as what the shoulders and the arms and the back are doing as well. So when I draw a bow here of this weight, I need to make sure that my shoulders are settled a certain way, that I'm drawing in a particular way in order to maximize the use of my back muscles. In particular, not just the central back, the trapezius and the rhomboids, but also making use of the big lats, the muscles around here as well. So, and then, so basically, when I draw a bow back like this, I have to be able to use a technique that is appropriate, so that I won't, so a person of a small frame such as myself can draw a heavier bow like this. So, I weigh about 128, 129 pounds. This bow is 102 pounds at 28. And, this is not the heaviest bow that I practice with. I'll practice with bows between 110 and 120 pounds. And the basis for how I'm able to do this is the technique that my co-author and I, Jie Tian and myself, practiced and also use as a basis for our book. So our book is The Way of Archery, a 1637 Chinese military training manual, and is based on a 17th century Ming Dynasty archery treatise by Gao Ying. So Gao Ying, he wrote this at the end of the Ming Dynasty, very desperate times. And at that time he was about 67 years old, and he couldn't go out and fight because the Manchus were invading, but he wanted to help in some way. And so he just spilled all the secrets of archery into his manuals. And what we did is we took the classical Chinese texts that Gao Ying wrote in, we provide a parallel English translation, and then we talk about, a lot of the technical elements involved, in military weight archery, and as well as the, adding diagrams that help clarify the explanations. And when I say military weight, that's something, typically you see 80 pounds at the minimum. The elite archers could go like 120, 130 pounds. Like, for example, the Qing Dynasty Chinese military Imperial Guard, to join the Imperial Hunt, you had to shoot like 133-pound bows. So Yeah, and we talk about the technique about that in this book right here. So. Yeah, and so that's the sort of the technique side of the things that I'm involved in. I have a site, thewayofarchery.com. Well, we have a site with thewayofarchery.com that talks about events that we hold, as well as providing tutorials. That will help you learn how to shoot with a thumb ring, and also how to sort of work your shoulders in terms of being able to draw these types of bows as well. And to accompany that, so first and foremost, I'm an archer. I want to use equipment that is, suitable, like that doesn't, totally distract me from the experience. And so that's why I started the Cinnabar bow as well. And I'm selling things from bows to quivers to thumb rings. So, for example, like we offer thumb rings in various sizes. Plastic thumb rings are okay for up to maybe like 55-pound bow, but if you're going to go up into the 60, 80, 100-pound range, you'll want something made of metal. We have bows ranging from very entry level to higher end, and so these are bows I would use for teaching, just the standard solid fiberglass bows with a leather wrap. These are made by Mariner, the fiberglass song bow. And then Mariner also makes this entry-level laminated bow, which is the Han 3 Basic. So this has a nice laminated construction, bamboo core, glass on the back and the belly. So this would be a nice kind of entry-level laminated bow if someone wanted something that's a little nicer but didn't want to break the bank. I like to target shoot with bows made by Simon van der Heyden from the Netherlands. So this is from Simon's Bow Company, and this is the Raptor. And it's a really nice high-end laminated bow. Has a bamboo core, glass in the back of the belly, as well as a layer of stable core in the middle, which is a crossweave fiberglass that helps with stability. So, if you want forgiveness on shooting, this is kind of my go-to bow. And I'll target shoot, so I'll train between like 110, 120 pounds, but I'm going to target shoot between 50, 55 pounds because, I want to sort of relax and enjoy myself, when I'm shooting at distance. So there's that. And then, of course, again, here's the Tehran made by Mishka Rovchanin. And I like to use this for my heavy practice because he's able to reach these poundages pretty reliably here. So, and then finally, gotta have a place to hold the arrows. And so this is my go-to quiver. It's a Buryat style quiver made by Zach Jurica of Nomadic Archery. Zach is I would argue, the best quiver maker in the world when it comes to these styles of quivers. And he makes them in various styles, prices starting from 150 to 300 and on up, depending on what kind of customizations you want. I like his work because he's based his quivers on actual historical and antique examples, like real stuff that was used by people back in the day. And so he'll make it to these dimensions, proportions, like where the strap work is, where the joints are for the back pockets. Like he will replicate that to a T. And I really appreciate his work there. I guess, and then I guess since we're talking about military things, so this is the open style quiver, right? This is the type of quiver that you would use if you were to, say you're riding, you need to focus on your target or your enemy right there. You need to be able to knock without looking, like so. As you see the quiver, with the arrows facing this way, it's not a back quiver. The Asiatic, archers did not pull arrows out from here. You're liable to kind of scrape your horse's neck and stuff like that if you're trying to pull it out from here. So you kind of kept things down low here. And then you would knock like so. See that? And so that is what you would use if you're on horse. Now, if you were heavy cavalry, like say in the Genghis Khan era or earlier, then you use a quiver that's more like this. This is a closed quiver, also made by Zach. And you see the arrows are covered, so you might be shooting arrows at first, fetching them like so. The tips are facing forward here. Then you would nock it. And then, as heavy cavalry, once you are getting close in and you're ready to sort of bang around, these arrows are protected as you're fighting in close range. So, yeah, just want to introduce folks to that.